Okay, so let's talk about how to get to a point of transcending your circumstances. And by doing that, what's the benefit? Why do I want to transcend my circumstance? Because this is how you can and how you will reclaim your power, how to take back the power that has been or is being usurped from you moment to moment. I was going to say daily, but really it's moment to moment. And I think one of the best books that I was introduced to about 20 years ago, or 15 to 20 years ago, was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And it's ironic because I made a little fun of people who present spiritual information in a very subdued fashion. And he's definitely one of the people that presents information in that way. And I don't mean any disrespect to him, because I have all the respect in the world for the information that he presents. I've gotten a lot of, I've grown a lot from his information. The Power of Now and his other New Earth that was on Oprah for like a whole live classroom that she did, 10 week classroom sessions, 10 classes. But I bring that up because I think that book, The Power of Now, is one of the best ways, the best way that I know. I've referred it, recommended it to many people over the years, and the best way that I know of really being able to grasp the power of the moment, and how to really start living in the moment, or as he says, living in the now. Again, there's really nothing new under the sun. The information is out there. I am not suggesting that I'm offering any new information, but I do think that I can offer it in a way that some people can understand and grasp certain concepts and relate, who may not vibe or with some of these other people that are out there teaching the information. And so the power in that comes along with reclaiming your authority, reclaiming your power through meditation. Because, and I want to talk about that because I know a lot of men, especially, but not just men, but just bear with me for a moment. Power, if we don't see where we can feel where we're going to be empowered, where we're going to feel, then a lot of this information comes across as an appeal to being weak, or an appeal to being vulnerable, an appeal to being effeminate, or something outside of what we have been conditioned to believe we're supposed to go after as men. And I think there could be nothing further from the truth. Because as a man, or a woman, or whomever you are, really, when you get reclaim the authority, when you get in touch with your self, your authentic self, then there is no more, you can't be any more powerful than that, because now you're no longer living outside of yourself. And when you're living outside of yourself, you are actually you're in your weakest, most vulnerable position. When you're living to impress other people, when you're living dependent upon what other people think about you, you're vulnerable, because that's not within your control. So you can you can do what you can study all types of things on how to manipulate scenarios and situations, or people's minds, or how to use certain words. There's the NLP was a big thing. I know Anthony Robbins. That's where he got his. That's what he's world renowned for, being a master of neuro-linguistic programming. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it didn't resonate with me because it seemed like manipulation. You're going to tell me how to say certain things that can register in a person's mind, but they don't realize I said it. But I mean, it's interesting from a psychological perspective, and as I mentioned, that's my field. That's what my degree is in and stuff. Human development and psychology. I'm not sure. I'm new to this YouTube thing. If I need to keep saying that so people know why are they listening to me, or if I'm going to have to eventually start just hoping that people look at the video that I'll probably title, about me or something, and so I can stop. But I'm just not into that. That's not real power to me. It's not authentic power. External power, that is, or just learning tricks. This is one of the big problems that people have in sales. I have worked, as I said, for various large companies, various states, territory, as wide as 5-state territory. I've done sales management. I've had my own businesses over the years, and I've always been one of the most successful salespeople. Well, I'm specifically thinking about when I'm working for other companies, because when I'm doing it for myself, there's really not anybody to compete with, or there aren't all those charts and measurements. But one of the things I liked about working for these corporations, although there are many things I didn't like about it, but one of the things I liked about it is that you will know how you're doing. I mean, they keep everything is quantified. Everything's on a spreadsheet. And I would break records all the time and exceed quotas all the time. And it's interesting because I never competed. I was never in competition with other people. Although the other people, I remember one time I had a sales team. There were 35 of us. I was always in the top 3, maybe 5, and I present that things were a little more fair in the organization. I could have easily been top 1 all the time, but I was presented with some unique challenges that I don't think were always fair. But that's a whole other thing. But yet and still, irrespective of the challenges that I was presented with or whatever, always able to be at the top, and that's without competing with anyone except with my personal best. And I remember one time I walked into this. Well, it was a church. I was at this particular company. I was working in a church division, and we were selling portraits. I had working in 5 different states, on the road, hotels all the time. And so I was a salesperson, and then there was the photographer who obviously did his thing. And I walked into this particular church, and he said, "Hey, man, number one, why are you here? Like, this is not like a good account. Like, I know you have high numbers all the time. They're supposed to give the people with the high numbers, bigger churches and more lucrative opportunities. So what are you doing here? And number two, we're not going to make any money, right? I mean, I just said, hey, don't say that. Number one, we are going to make money, and I'm here because I'm here. I don't agree. I would agree. I probably deserve some other accounts, but I'm here. We're going to do this. By the time the day was over, or when at the conclusion of the sales day, that photographer literally bowed to me. He literally got on his knees and said, "Hey, you are the man." I mean, I'm not saying, I'm sitting here talking about transcending the ego, so I'm not saying that from an egoic perspective, but I'm saying you can do the impossible once you are in touch with your authentic self, especially in occupations that require you to interface with other people, because people know real from fake. See, I didn't go in there trying to sell people stuff. It's not what I was there for. I went in there to make a connection with the person and to offer them an opportunity to buy some things. And it's just my job to show them their choices for what they could purchase. Whole different approach. And don't get me wrong, there's certain things in sales that are required. You do need to smile. You do need to shake their hand. You do need to be approachable. You do need to recognize their children by name if their children are present, and certain things that you do need to do almost every time. Okay, so I'm not saying be stupid when you're being authentic. I'm not saying take your, whatever your craft is and just totally scrap it and just say I'm authentic. I'm just going to do any damn thing. I'm not that stupid. But I am saying you're going to be light years ahead of the people out there who are trying to prey on people, who are reading the latest trick on how to manipulate someone. And the reason you'll be found out every time, through meditation, you'll understand it more and more, that we are connected, seriously connected. It's energy. It's one energy. Same energies in me, same energies in the person that I'm perceiving as being another person that I'm thinking, that I'm interfacing with. But there's one energy. There may be two bodies, but there's one energy. And so if we heighten our energy, our frequency level, then when the person is in contact with us, their frequency level is going to be heightened and raised up to yours, as opposed to you pandering and trying to figure out where they are so you can get something from them. You're actually there to offer them much more than the product that you're selling them, or the service or whatnot. You're there to offer them an authentic experience with another being. Again, I use the word another loosely for those who are really advanced in this, but the point being with you. Okay, so there is power, is the point of this message here. There's tremendous power in getting in contact with your authentic self, and I gave some examples in the previous video about how I really knew that I was centered, and those were some rather unfortunate and traumatic occurrences that happened. But a couple other things or times, much more well, a couple other things that happened that let me know, or when I knew, are experiences that I had through meditation. I have twice in my life achieved what the Buddhists call nirvana, which is a falling away, a total falling away of separation, of our perception of things being separate from us. So to bring that down to earth, because again, my claim to fame is making this stuff be as relatable as possible. All I'm saying is that for a period of time, one time it was when I was about 21 years old. I'm 40 now. And another time it was I was about 34 years old, give or take. And no, actually.